Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Anna. Thanks so much for tuning in. Today we're going to be doing a minimalist boho painting. I think these paintings are a great way to play around with basic composition and to make a stylish piece of art at the same time. But before we dive in, just a quick reminder, if you enjoy the video, please give it a like. If you have feedback, leave a comment. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell or share with a friend who you think might like the video. Any and all are a great way to support the channel, and I really appreciate it. So I've been practicing boho art lately, and I thought it would be fun to do a practice piece together. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples of the minimalist modern aesthetic we're going for today. So let's start with the colors. Boho art typically has warm, soft, earthy colors like the ones you see here. And you'll often see organic shapes or nature motifs like the stem of leaves or anything that really echoes nature, like I have these wavy lines in this piece. But overall, things are arranged in a very harmonious, balanced way because, again, we're reflecting nature. So those are the basics. Let's talk materials. You're going to want 140-pound cold press watercolor paper like I've got right here, some washi tape to frame in your piece, a watercolor palette, of course, preferably with some earth-toned options. For a brush today, I'm using a number 12 round brush, and I have a spray bottle to activate pigments, water and paper towels, as well as a black acrylic marker. All right, now that we've got our materials, let's select our color palettes. Now for a minimalist modern boho aesthetic, I suggest going with soft, warm, earthy, medium to light value colors. So I'm going to select light olive green, rose madder, and yellow ochre. And if you prefer to use a different type of color palette other than soft, earthy tones, by all means do so. This is just to achieve a specific aesthetic. And traditionally, your classic boho art use bold jewel tones and maximalist details. So maybe that's something we can explore in another video. But today, make this your own, choose the colors you like. All right, so I've spritzed my colors and I'm going to start by laying down these organic looking circles in my two darker colors. And I want to create a sense of growth and upward movement in this piece. So I'm trying to weight the bottom of the canvas here. But I also want to maintain color balance. So I'm going to put another green half circle here. And because it's a little smaller, it doesn't carry as much visual weight. And I'm going to apply that same concept with my yellow ochre here. I'm going to put a little half circle at the bottom. And that's clustered with the green. So again, it adds more visual weight. I'll do a smaller circle kind of in the middle, like so. And then I'll do another one at the top, another half circle. So this will help us maintain our color balance because we have yellow on the top, the bottom, and the middle. But since yellow is a little bit lighter and brighter than the green, it doesn't have as much visual weight. So we don't lose our sense of upward movement. So I let this first layer dry, and now I'm going to add some layers with the rose madder, or the lightest color. And I'm going to make a medium-sized circle in the middle here that just overlaps that gold and that green. You get a connection, and I'm going to do the same in this bottom corner. And I'm going to make this really big because even though it's light, if it's bigger, it's going to, again, carry a little more visual weight. And I'm going to add another small rose madder circle over here for color balance. And finally, I'm going to add a smaller semicircle on the top left here with the olive green, again for color balance. And this is all I'm going to do for the watercolor foundation. We'll let this dry and then we'll move on to our line work. All right, the watercolor work is dry. Let's grab our black acrylic markers and do some line work. Now to start the line work, I'm going to let the white space guide my lines. So starting from the bottom, I'm going to make a stem that arcs up and to the left and one that arcs up and to the right. Now for the flowers, I'm going to echo my watercolor circles and make small circular centers just off the tip of each stem. And then I'm going to make 5 rounded petals around each center. And I should mention that when it comes to composition, it's not so much about having a specific technique, it's more about understanding how elements work together. I want this piece to be harmonious, so I'm repeating the same shapes and my lines follow the contours of those shapes. For example, I'm going to add some flower buds, so I'm going to make the stems flow along with the surrounding circles. And if you want to add contrast, you can do that with subtle transitions. Like with the buds, for example, I'm going to make them round at the top, but a little bit pointed at the bottom. And that's a very subtle amount of contrast, but I'm going to use that as a bridge for when I add my leaves. because I want my leaves to be elongated and pointed. So this is one of the leaves right here. There we go. And the reason I want my leaves to be that shape is because we have the watercolor circles in the background and I want them to pop off of that. And here I'm just going to go over my lines one more time because the floral motif is our focal point, so we want it to stand out against the background. And personally, I think the weight of your line work is one of the trickiest things to get the hang of because you do want it to be heavy enough that it pops off the background, like I said, but you also want to have some nuance within that. For example, in areas like with the leaves, like closer to the stems, you probably want that weight to be a little heavier and then be a little lighter and more delicate at the tips. Clearly, I have a little work to do there, and that's something I look forward to refining. And it's just part of growing in your practice. But yeah, I think it is so tricky. Anyway, I've gone over my lines twice and I'm satisfied with the overall weight of the line work. Now I'm going around and finishing up with some black accent circles. The goal here is to subtly frame in those florals to emphasize the focus, but not disrupt the line work and still maintain color balance. So you'll notice I didn't put the circles in the white space so the flowers can grow and bloom as they will. And the circles themselves are quite small in comparison to most of the watercolor circles. And in regard to the position of the black circles, I generally mirrored them so that could create compositional and color balance throughout the piece. So like I said, there isn't really an exact formula to follow when it comes to composition, but if you're trying to create minimalist modern boho art, the main elements to keep in mind are repeated shapes, subtle contrasts, and the sense of harmonious flow between every element on the page. Play around with those elements to get started, and then when you're done, deconstruct your piece and see what worked and what didn't for creating the harmony you were looking for. It's a really effective way to grow as an artist, and it gives you direction for your next piece. And speaking of next piece, if you are interested in exploring the more traditional boho aesthetic I mentioned in the beginning, drop a paintbrush emoji in the comments and I will see what I can do about creating a long form video on that. As always, thank you so much for creating with me today. Until next time, take care.